I cough, making my ribs hurt. My wolf is trying to help me heal quickly. But since we don't shift as much as the others, my healing is not as good as other wolves. I get up to my feet with so much difficulty. But she kicks my legs and I fall back down. She puts her heel over my neck. And I close my eyes, waiting for the worst. What I have to do is press a little harder and I can take you out of your misery, she says in that annoying tone of hers. My heart is beating so fast and my wolf is growling menacingly. Even though she can't fight back in this situation, she has a strong fighting spirit and most times has given in to me. But I know when to quit and she doesn't. I don't want to die. My wolf, Challo, resurfaces, and using her strength, I kick Eunice in the leg so that she is on the ground. Those weak, stupid bitch minions of hers scream, scared, but no one tries to stop me. Anger courses through me. I feel the adrenaline pumping through me and I hover over her, punching her face repeatedly. Soon the men that were training surrounded us. Others were cheering while others are telling her to beat me. But I know Eunice. She only barks and has had no bite since we were young. A tingling sensation rushes down my skin as I feel myself being lifted off Eunice's body by huge strong hands. But my wolf is not done with her yet. So I kick and scream. Let me fucking go. I scream at whoever is carrying me away from there. I jump off the shoulder of the man who carries me and am ready to punch him in the face. But I am taken back to see it is Amos, the alpha's son. He looks so sexy in his basketball shorts. His hair is disheveled, and god damn it, his chest is as hot as fuck. I can see his muscular body and I swallow thickly. Seeing that I am staring, he smirks at me and I blush involuntarily, looking away from him. Causing trouble, Omega, he says in an angry voice. She came at me first, I retort. You'll be punished for what you did. Do you know who she is? He growls, pushing me against the tree. I wince at the pain in my back. He wraps his hand around my neck and chokes me. She is your fucking Luna, he grits. I try to hit him, but he doesn't let go. It is like hitting a wall. My oxygen starts to cut, and until all energy has let me. He finally lets me go and I fall to the ground, inhaling as much air as I can. He crouches down next to me and looks at me with a softness I've never seen before while I glare at him. His eyes turn a shade darker, and I know he is linking with someone. When he is done, he clears his throat and orders, "You will be locked in the dungeon for the coming days." I widen my eyes in horror. But she started it, I croak. I've been in the dungeons a few times, and it is not a place I like to be. It is dark and scary, and the guards there are the most immoral while they beat the offenders. They sexually assault women they like. It has happened to me a few times, but I wasn't raped. He stands up to leave, but turns to look at me. Before I forget, I, Amos Rivers, reject you, Anaya Ross, as my mate and future Luna. I was in shock, and his words kept repeating in my head. I didn't say anything or even react. Amos was my mate. He is 24 years old, so he knew all along that we were mated, but watched them beat and abuse me. Amos is standing over me with no emotions on his face, no remorse whatsoever. Guards! A few guards ran to us, bowing before the alphas. Behind them Eunice is there too. Her eyes are red and her perfect blonde. Hair is disheveled, her plastic face with cuts, and she has a cut on her lips. She comes to stand next to the alpha and whispers something in his ears, and after a long thought, he nods his acceptance. Lock her up, whip her every day until I say no more. Her voice is smooth as she orders, but my eyes are fixed on my mate. A sting on my cheek brings me back to the present, and I touch my cheeks. Suddenly, tears fall, and I don't have the chance to wipe them. Strong, huge hands grab my arms and drag me a few feet away from the two couples. Once in the dark dungeon, I am thrown to the ground like a sack of potatoes, and they exit the room. Then, I feel it. My chest begins to constrict, and a fire within me begins to burn terribly. I let out a sob, and for the first time in forever, I cried. I cry for the horrible life I've lived since I was 13 years old. I cry for my parents, their abandonment, their hate, and lastly, I cry for Amos, my mate. I thought when I found my mate, he would love and protect me as a mate should. But today, he has taken away all my will to fight. My wolf withdraws to the dark part of my mind, and I howl, feeling more alone than ever. Days passed by fast, and every day the guards came to wipe me with very painful lashes. My back had cuts and tears of flesh on it. I bet I look disgusting. I am only allowed 1 meal a day, bread and water. I haven't felt shallow since our mate rejected us. She is depressed and sad just like me. I get up from the cold floor and clutch my chest as I say the words, Ionea Ross, accept your rejection. Amos Rivers. I don't feel the bond breaking on my side, however. Amos will feel the bond tear between us and will experience pain like no other. Mature content. I was welcoming our guests for the renewal treaty celebration when something kept tugging on my heart. Something was wrong. My wolf Narcisse was giving me a hard time, growling and snarling at me. There are times he acts sick. He hates me and I rejected our mate. But I can't accept her as my mate, especially my Luna. She killed my uncle. In self-defense, Narcisse growls. No one believes her, I retort. My uncle was a bastard, but he was still my family. She could have dealt with the situation better than killing him in cold blood. She was fucking 13 years old. She had no control over her wolf. Amos, I can tell that her wolf is strong, he says the last part proudly. Indeed, my uncle had alpha blood and was one of the strongest wolves. But she still bested him. Ionea Ross is not only the most beautiful girl in the pack, but even behind her dirty clothes, she can make any man bow to his knees. She is strong as well. She has endured so many hardships since she was a little girl. She can make a fine Luna, breathes Narcisse. Yes, not ours. We shall make Eunice our Luna as my parents want. Her parents are strong and have been our allies for years. Eunice is an entitled brat and a crying baby. But I have to be with her to strengthen my pack, and she is a good fuck. But mostly when I fuck her, or any other wolf, I picture Ionea under me. Her baby blue eyes, her long hair and round breast. Her plump lips and beautiful face are enough to make me come like a teenager for the first time. Damn, she is the epitome of beauty. Just thinking about her makes my dick itch and hard in my jeans. I excuse myself and go to my office. I call an Omega who is more than happy. She gets on her knees and takes my long hard cock in her mouth and begins to move. I let out growls of pleasure and held the back of her neck, guiding her harder and faster, deep-throating me. More Ionea. I moan, and the slutty Omega bobbed her head faster, and I groaned as I released in her mouth. She swallows my cum and gets to her feet, smiling and looking satisfied. Oh, my alpha, you are amazing as usual, she purrs. I go to my desk and sit on my chair, leaning and relaxing, when I suddenly feel a sharp pain in my chest. I groan and growl, and the Omega comes to me worried. But I bare my sharp canines at her, and she staggers, falling on her side in fear. Get out! I growl as the pain only intensifies. What is going on? I ask Narcisse. He is also in so much pain. Our mate has accepted our rejection. No. I roar. I didn't want to come to this poor excuse of a pack, but it was my duty as a Lichen King to attend. So I did. The Dawnrise pack isn't the strongest or wealthiest, but they are doing well for themselves and have survived this far because of their alliances. However, the Alpha and Luna are not the most intelligent of the pack. But oh well. At least they are leading to the best of their abilities. Once the celebration begins, they announce that they will pass down the Alpha title to their son. Amos. He is a strong wolf and might even be more capable of leading than his parents. Amos walks on stage with a she-wolf by his side. She has a huge smile plastered on her face, and I assume she is his Luna. The outgoing alpha briefly gives a speech. He acknowledges my presence and people applaud. Amos is then called on stage and says his vows. I, Amos Rivers, will lead this pack fair and to the best of my abilities, he continues, and together they join their hands and the transfer of power is complete. We applaud him and the crowd cheers for their new alpha. Everyone is dancing and clapping. Can we go already? Asks my beta, Danford. He also didn't want to come. Not yet. We are leaving tomorrow. For now, just go and entertain yourself. I shrugged, getting a glass of champagne from one of the servers. Danford scowls like a child, but it immediately goes away when he sees 5 girls batting their lashes and giggling at us. He grins and looks at me. I think we should stick around, as we can't leave these pretty ladies in dire need of our company, he says, winking at the ladies who blush profusely. But I only turned away. Danford is the biggest player in the world. Despite being 24 like me, he also hasn't found his mate and has made it his life's goal to whore around until he finds her. But I, on the other hand, I do have women to gratify my sexual desires, but only 2 or 3, and there are no feelings attached whatsoever. I can only get attached to my mate and Luna, the woman who I will love and the mother of my heirs. I leave my beta with his whores and interact with other prominent alphas. They ask about the Lycan pack and all, but I am beginning to get bored, and my Lycan is getting agitated by every minute that passes. Mate! Saga growls in my head, immediately getting on 4 paws. Where? I could have sensed her the minute I saw her or smelt her. I frantically look around the party, but I can't seem to find her. I rushed out of the party to go see the alphas. I need to know if all members of the pack are here. I go straight to the alpha's office but don't enter, as I hear moans of pleasure coming from there, so I go to the former alpha. They are laughing and chatting with some other alphas. I march over to them. Has everyone in the pack attended the ceremony? I all but growled at them. They take a step back and he wraps his arm around his mate. Everyone present shrinks at my alpha aura, but I don't care. I need to find my mate now. Yes, they are, he stutters, not meeting my eyes. I don't think so. My Lycan senses his counterpart, but I can't find her. Only the remnant of her scent. Luna hides in her husband's chest at my anger, and it is her who answers. Yes, my king, all the unmated females are here, she cries frustrated. I growl and the whole party goes silent. I take a calming breath, but my blood boils when I feel someone trying to force themselves on my mate. My eyes darken. Saga takes over, and when he speaks, his domineering tone makes them all bow. I'm going to kill all of you bastards if I don't find her in 5 minutes. I roar. My king. There are some females in the dungeon. They cause trouble. Maybe she might be one of them, cries a female. I growled as I rushed to the dungeon. The guards there make way for me, and as I run, her intoxicating scent is getting stronger and undeniably sweet. I follow it, and her scream of panic is getting stronger. My blood is boiling. When I reach the cell where she is, I tear the grill bars and step in. The guards all freeze, looking at me with terror. My eyes go to the floor where a frail girl is lying, tears straining down her beautiful face and her claws are out. She looks on the verge of passing out, and there is blood all over the floor. A man is on top of her without a shirt, and I see red. My Lycan wants the blood of the male that is straddling my soulmate, and was clearly about to rape her. Mate, as those words leave my mouth. The guards are shaking in fear. They recognize who I am and are gaping and looking between us. Saga wastes no time attacking, and within 2 minutes they are lying lifeless on the ground. I get on my knees, removing the hair that was covering her face, and she lazily looks at me. Her beautiful blue eyes look lifeless. When I carry her, she weighs nothing. She looks extremely underweight and pale. What did they do to you? I mutter, kissing her forehead. She slowly raises her hand to touch my clean chin and drops it again before darkness envelopes her. Someone needs to pay for this. I took my mate to the Packhouse Hospital. I lay her on the bed and the doctors ask me to leave the room, but I didn't do it. I am not leaving her ever. My beta comes to my side, putting a hand on my shoulder. I am sure the people who were there informed him about the situation. Is that the Luna? He asks, looking at the girl on the bed. The doctors who are attending to her look very wary of me because my alpha aura is going crazy, but I can't help it. They were torturing her. My king. I think you should, leave. You won't want to see this. A tall nurse speaks in a stutter. She is right, and already. The doctors can't do their job well, bro. Your aura is imposing, Dan says. I shake my head. I want to see. I want to know what they did to her. No. The doctors turn her on her belly and tear her already torn shirt. My beta gasps. I repress a growl and clutch my fist. Her back is red and bloody. They have been hitting her. Some cuts are so deep and unable to heal themselves. I move closer to her instinctively. No one should be treated like that, no matter the crime of their sins. I see some dark scars as well, and my lichen howls in anguish. No doubt she is being abused a lot. Some scars are really old, mumbles the doctor as he begins to clean her. Even in her sleeping state, she flinches as the medicine touches her back and I hold her hand. Sorry, baby. They'll pay for this. I promise her silently. The Alpha family will bear 10 times what they did to her. I let go of her hand and left the room. My beta is calling my name. But I don't answer him. I just need to be alone right now. I reach the woods in no time and shift into my fierce lichen. With one loud howl, we take off into the forest to run. We have been running for a few hours now, the images of how I found my mate haunting my memories. Questions bombarding my mind. What if I wasn't there? What if I was a minute late? What would have happened would she have seen the day again? I run harder and push forward. After hours of running, I thought my anger would have subsided. But it didn't. I go back to the pack house. It is quiet and everyone is still sleeping, so I go to their minibar, drinking my favorite whiskey. Feeling fatigued, it takes over my body. I go to the room that they prepared for me to rest, but I mind linking my beta to tell him to stay with my mate. Once I hit the bed, I again think of my beautiful mate. I don't even know her name yet. I want to know everything about her, but mostly want to know why she was in that terrible place I found her in. The dungeons only hold the most dangerous wolves. But can she be? She looks so frail and perfect, like she wouldn't even hurt a fly. I can't sense her wolf, Saga says. I did notice that. The tingles were there when our skin made contact, but they were not as strong. We will find out what happened. Amos's point of view. My chest was burning for hours, and my breath came out in short pants. The fucking bitch accepted my rejection. How can she? Why would she? I thought she will wait a while longer to give me time to reconsider and take her back. I thought she will beg me to take back my rejection, but no, she accepted it. I growled at the thought of that. Anger coursed through me, but I couldn't leave my office because I was in too much pain. My wolf was whimpering and howling in sadness. I was feeling so many emotions, but I couldn't pinpoint which one. But I knew one thing: I needed to see her. I have to see Anaya. I refuse to let her go. I can't lose my mate because I am afraid of what others will say. After I calmed down, and the painful sensations began to disappear, I mind-linked the head guard to get her out of the dungeon, but no one answered. I couldn't even feel their wolves. What the fuck was happening to my men? I marched towards the dungeons in anger, and once I am there, the guards at the entrance are in deep conversation. I growled, alerting them of my presence, and they stood straight, saluting me. I went straight to the cell where my mate was kept, but the silver bars were ripped from their hinges. I snarled when I saw 2 men carrying the bodies of dead men. They looked like they were ripped apart by a beast. What happened? The Lichen King was here. He took the girl. I grabbed him by the collar and growled in his face. What do you mean, took her? Some guards were, sir. He was stuttering and I was getting frustrated. What did the guards do to my mate? If you don't stop your stuttering, I'll snap your fucking neck. Speak clearly. I threw him against the wall, and he grunted painfully. The men assaulted her, and the king killed him, sir, he said with difficulty. My anger rose and I clenched my teeth, growling furiously. Where is she? I don't know, sir, he trembled. I left the cells after mine, linking with some guards. They informed me that she had been taken to the hospital. I rushed there and saw that she was peacefully lying on the bed, her eyes closed, and the sight of her like that made me shudder. She looked underweight and pale. Her hair is disheveled and her features were soft as ever. I caressed her soft cheek and I felt faint tingles under my fingers. I bent down and kissed her forehead, but stopped when I sensed someone's presence behind me and turned around to face the intruder. What happened to her? The doctor snickers and glares at me. I almost growl at her insolence, but took deep gulps of air to calm myself. I don't feel like killing anyone today. Especially Dr. Barros. She was a sweet and gentle woman. I woke up at 10 a.m., showered, and got ready for the day, and I went to Amos's office. I didn't wait to hear a come-in before I enter. I find him sitting in his chair. The former Alpha and Luna are on the couch along with two other men. They all get to their feet at my arrival and bow. We exchange pleasantries, and I take a chair in front of the new Alpha. I found my mate in your pack. I inform him from the looks on their faces. It seems they already knew. Amos knit his eyebrows in interest, while the other people in the room cheer forcibly, as if they were wary. I found her in the dungeon, being molested by your guards, I say. Repulsed. Amos's face shows anger and fury as I continue to tell them. A growl rips from his chest, and he hits his desk, breaking it in half. I'll kill them, he declares. Already did. I grin sarcastically. What happened? Why was she locked up? I asked, looking into his eyes, and he fidgets uncomfortably. I believe it has something to do with him. He swallows thickly. Which one? Don't play dumb with me. You are already starting to irritate me. He looks offended, but doesn't say a word. He inhales and puts his arms on the broken table. Looking at me. Anea, he starts, and I repeat her name silently. Anea, it is a beautiful name for a lovely girl. A smile makes its way to my lips. It suits her, adds Saga. There is a mistake. Anaya is not yours. She is my mate. I growl and get to my feet. In a flash, I am in front of him, holding him by his neck. I lift him off the ground and squeeze his neck. His face starts to turn purple, but I don't release him. How dare you claim my mate? The former Alpha and Luna are pleading, but I turn a deaf ear. Anea is my mate, and I'll kill anyone who tries to touch her. My words are slow and calm. I throw the little Alpha to the ground, and he gulps for air greedily. His parents are going to help him up, but he growls and pushes away. Stupid prick. With all due respect, my king, she was mine first. If the moon goddess gave her another, it can only mean you rejected her, especially considering the condition I found her in. Alpha Amos. Do you lock your mate in dungeon? I know for sure that if the goddess blessed me with her, the moron must have rejected her. I was wrong. I'll take back my rejection. He challenges. I see red, but I refrain from wasting any energy on him. You won't, his father growled. I raise my eyebrows and find them staring at each other challengingly. That woman won't be a Luna. She is a murderer. Father, enough. Anaya is my mate, and everyone will accept her. I've made my decision, Amos declares. I don't wait to find out what is going on before leaving the room. I go straight to the hospital to see my mate. I find Dan in the hallway, and I give him a tiny smile. How is she? She is better. They have applied some ointment to her wounds, but I haven't been there to see her yet. Is she awake? He nods and points at me to walk in. I eye him, suddenly feeling nervous. What if she rejects me or compares me to that asshole who rejected her? I hesitantly push the door open and enter the room. There is a female doctor performing tests and asking her questions. She nods her head, looks better. The doctor sounds cheerful. The doctor notices me and Bose, my king. I am happy to say your mate is healing well. Quite impressive actually, she muses. I nod. And she explains a few things before leaving the room. I am left alone. With my mate. I slowly lift my gaze as the most enticing scent of vanilla and honey fills my nostrils. My breath gets caught in my chest, and I forget how to breathe. The man walking in front of me is tall and intimidating. He is the most gorgeous man I've ever seen. He has thick jet black hair, blazing dark blue eyes, a prominent face with high cheekbones, and a muscular body that looks like a Greek god. As soon as he entered the room, he dominated it immediately, and a wince escapes my lips. He smiles ever so gently once he nears me and my heart skips. My wolf is trying to say something frantic, but I can't hear her clearly. I am still in awe of him. Hello, love. His voice is deep and huskily sexy. I just watch him like an idiot. No words are leaving my mouth. Anea. He whispers my name, his eyes looking at me with love. My name sounds so good on his tongue, and a shiver runs down my spine. He cups my face and tingles run down my body. I gulp. Mate. I hear my wolf chant. Not fucking again. I shake my head, burying my head between my legs. I can tell that this man is an alpha by his strong, domineering aura. Will he reject me? Oh my God, no. I feel tears well in my eyes and a sob escapes me. I feel hands stroking my hair and I take deep breaths to calm myself. My hunky mate grabs my chin gently so that I am facing him. And when he speaks, a warm sensation goes down my body. I've been waiting for you. Mate, are you going to reject me? I ask calmly, bracing myself. He knits his eyebrows in confusion. Why would I do that? You are my Luna, my queen, his eyes twinkle, and I allow a small smile on my lips after I register what he said. What is your name? I stutter my words. Leandra Lavista. I nod, and test it on my tongue. It suits him. It makes my wolf purr. I can tell he wants to ask something but is hesitant. There is an awkward silence between us before he speaks again. Anea. Damn, he did it again. Has my name always sounded so good? What happened? Why were you in that terrible place? His expression is darkening, and I feel uncomfortable when he exudes a powerful aura. Seeing my discomfort, he takes a deep breath and opens his eyes. My mate locked me up. I am your mate. He interjects with a growl, and I flinch, backing away from him, but there is nowhere to go. He starts taking deep breaths again. I instinctively reach for his hand and slowly rub circles on it, and he sends me a small smile that warms my heart. Tell me everything, please. I begin to tell him everything that happened, and to say Leandra was upset will be an understatement. While I tell him, some old scars reopen and I cry again. He holds me tightly and tells me that it will be all right. That I have him now, and for some weird reason, I do believe him. My wolf is content in his arms, and by a sheer miracle, my wounds don't hurt. The door to the room opens, and another tall man with a build like Leon enters the room. He smiles. Luna, I am glad to see you are all right. I look at Leon, waiting for him to tell me who he is because I've never seen him before. This is Dan, my beta and friend, he says quickly. I smile, and to Dan he says, this is Anaya, my mate, and the new Lycan queen. I almost choke on my saliva. Did he say Lycan? Yes. How did I not feel it sooner? His imposing aura. Lycans are the most powerful among the supernatural. They are gorgeous creatures and dominating. They rule over all shifters, and Leandra Lavista is the king. What? I am freaking out right now. How is that possible? I am no leader, let alone queen of a lichen kingdom. Hold up, did you just say friend? I am your best friend, motherfucker. Sneers Dan was offended that the king only called him a friend and not a best friend. Leon just chuckles and puts a hand on my neck. Are you okay, love? He asks worriedly. I clear my throat and nod. So many things are running through my head right now. What if the lichen community doesn't accept me? They are magnificent creatures, so I hear. They are wealthy, undeniably upper class. And will he ask me to leave with him? Yes. Did you just say king? He nods affirmatively. And you are my queen. So, when are we leaving? Asks Dan before I can even think to process everything. As soon as the doctors permit Anaya to travel, and I still have some business here. Answers the king while the men discuss what to do in the Dawnrise pack. My stomach growls loudly, but I ignore it, embarrassed. It growls again, and this time I close my eyes. My cheeks are red and I hear the Lichen King's deep chuckle. Hungry? I bite my lips. Not sure if I am allowed any food. Dan, get us some food and bring my laptop. I need to work on the moonshine project before Marcus starts pestering me. The lichen beta bows and exit the room. My mate turns to me and sighs. He smiles and I almost melt. He is too hot. Minutes later, someone comes in with so much food on a tray. There is fried chicken, salad, chips, and fruit. My stomach embarrassingly growls again as my mate takes the tray from an Omega. I don't ignore how she seductively bats her eyelashes at him. But Leon didn't even spare her a look. Enjoy. He places the food on a small table in front of me. My mate watches me eat with a smile, and I take small bites of my food if I eat too fast as my stomach is urging me. I don't remember the last time I ate this much. And once I am safe, my mate puts the tray aside and smiles at me again. I swoon this time. Dramatic, much. I wrap my arms around his waist, and we stay like that until the door opens and a possessive growl resonates. Get away from my mate. The heroine is currently facing a difficult situation and needs your support. Please leave your words of encouragement for her in the comments section. Get away from my mate. As soon as the growl tears from Amos's chest, Leon is in front of him, growling. I gasp when he grabs him and backs him into a wall. I see Alpha being lifted off the ground by the powerful king. I get out of my bed and rush to them, placing a hand on my mate, and my gesture seems to be yet again soothe him. He lowers him down with a growl. As the two stare each other down, I can tell the difference in strength, even though they look like they are about to tear each other apart. Amos is the first to break eye contact. He bows subtly. After all, Leandra is still his king. He turns to me and raises a hand to touch my cheek. But a growl stops him midway. How are you? Amos's voice is soft like never before, and I am surprised by the change of attitude. My wolf snarls at him and says something snarky. I don't answer him, instead just hold my liken's hand. I want to rest now. Do you want to lie next to me? I ask gently, and Leandra smiles, his eyes shining, and he nods eagerly. I feel bad because I am using him to make that fucker Amos jealous. Leandra directs me back to the bed. I cock my head to glance at Amos one more time. He looks hurt, but he deserves it for treating me like garbage. I smile inwardly at his hurt fucking asshole. Leandra and I lie in bed, my back pressed against his front and his arms circle my body in a tight hug. I close my eyes and inhale my mate's scent. When I sleep, I dream about the horrors endured in those dungeons, those men whipping me, touching me most indecently. I begin to shiver as I relive those moments, and fear for my life creeps in. I feel their disgusting hands on my body, and I thrash, kick, and scream so that they don't touch me. Anaya. Someone is shaking me. I wake up to find strong arms holding me, but I get startled and struggle to get out of them. Hey, calm down. I keep shaking and kicking until I roll off the bed. I land on the cold floor, hurting my side again. Anaya. King Leandra runs to me, carrying me in his arms. My whole body is shivering, and for a moment I am still in a daze. I feel the warmth spread around my body. The Lichen King's huge hand has circled my waist. His head is in my neck and I bury my face in his chest, crying. He comforts me, telling me that it is all right and that he is here with me. The next day, I woke up to a harsh, low voice hissing. "Get out! I don't ever want to see you near my mate." That is Leandra's voice. Why is he upset? "I just wanted to make you feel good," a voice purrs. That is Fallon's voice. The bitch hates me to the core and is one of my bullies. She helps out here and refuses me to get treatment after they beat me. "I don't need that," he hisses. "Come on. I am sexier than ugly skank," she yells. I keep my eyes closed, wanting to hear the Lichen's response. "What? Don't dare insult my mate. Whore and I don't want to see you again," he says, going on to tell her that I am the most beautiful woman in the world and that he only has eyes for me. His words bring tears to my eyes. "Dan, stay with her." The door closes. I finally open my eyes and I find Dan smiling at me. "Luna, do you want some food?" Whenever I am not with my Lichen King, Dan stays with me to make sure that Owen doesn't bother me. I sit up and give him a small smile. "Can I have more chicken, please?" I ask with a grin. Ever since King Leandra appeared in my life, I can eat all I want and have a great taste for grilled chicken and ice cream. Dan chuckles. "Of course, do you know anything else other than chicken?" "No, I love chicken." He stands up and scratches his stubble beard, contemplating something. "Have you tried seafood before?" he asks. I shake my head negatively, and he clicks his tongue. "Luna, you are having that today," I pout, making him chuckle. "Just trust me. You'll love it," he winks. I watch him leave the room in a hurry and I lay back. It has been years since I've been in a bed as soft as this one. I open my eyes to a screeching sound. "Who the fuck do you think you are to receive medical treatment?" asks Eunice, crossing her arms against her chest. I roll my eyes. This bitch is the worst ever. Today she is wearing small, tight clothes. Her boobs are almost hanging out of her tank top. "Just get out, whore," I say in a bored tone. She gasps and comes to me so fast, kicking my bed and making me fall on my side. I close my eyes at the pain and with difficulty try to get up, but the little slut kicks me back down. I grab her leg and push her against the wall. My bones hurt, but I manage to punch her in the face. She yelps, blood oozing from her nose. Such a weak cunt. Her eyes darken as her wolf has taken over. She smiles maliciously at me and clenches her fist, ready to punch me, but her hand stops midway. A growl is resounding from somewhere, and I tilt my neck to see the man who is releasing those aggressive growls. "Be Beta, Danford," stutters Eunice. The Lichen Beta is fuming with anger. His claws are digging into her flesh to the point of drawing blood. "What the fuck are you doing here?" he growls, his eyes shining, and Eunice starts to cry for good now. "This stupid slave just insulted me, Beta. I was just teaching her a lesson," she cries, her angry eyes on me. "What are you doing in this room?" he questions again, this time in a firm and intimidating voice. He roughly lets go of her arm and she scurries away in fear. Dan looks at me with concern in his gaze. "Luna, are you all right?" "Oh, I am sorry for going so long," he apologizes. I inhale and smile at him. He takes me to the bed and sits me down. He looks worried. "Damn, the king will punish me for this," he mumbles. "I am used to this, honestly." I shrug, making myself comfortable on the bed. "What do you mean?" "They beat, insult, and starve me," I say casually. But as I continue to list all the pack does to me, his expression darkens and I bite my tongue. He is growling and I give his hand a pat. "It is okay. We can keep this little incident between us," And please don't tell the king what I told you, Dan. I ask in a small voice. But he shakes his head. Promise me. I insist. But he only covers his large hand over mine and says, I can't do that, Luna. I have to protect you and make sure all these people suffer for what they did. With that said, he goes out of the room, banging the door behind him. I exhale and pray he doesn't tell Leandra already lichens fight harder than normal to tame their inner lichens. And if he hears of this, the king might go ballistic and kill the bitch. After Dan finishes telling me what that woman did to my mate, I was fuming with anger. I went to Amos's office and demanded justice for Anna. I won't let anyone hurt her without any consequence. Who do you think you are barging in here like that again? He demands, his fist clutched. I am your king. Someone attacked my mate and I want them punished. Now, I demand from him. He looks startled and takes a step back. Who hurt her? Find out and I want to hear her screams, I say, leaving the office after he nods. I don't immediately go to my mate. Instead, I decide to do some work that I have been putting off. However, I can't seem to get the picture of how I found my mate out of my head. She has endured so much at the hands of everyone here. She is a fighter, says my lichen. Indeed that she is. I allowed myself to smile, while I pick up my phone to call my sister. Hello, Leon. My little sister, Arya, greets. Hey, we exchange pleasantries before announcing to her that I have found my mate, and the squeal that resounded made me remove the phone from my ear. I wait for her to calm down before continuing. I am bringing her to the lichen pack soon. I inform her. Oh, my brother, I am so happy. I can't wait to meet her. We are going to be best friends. She rumbles. I knew this will happen. Arya has always wanted a sister of her own, and now that I am taking Anna there, she will have that. However, I need to speak to her about it first. I don't want her to feel rushed into anything. What is her name? Anea Ross. She is as beautiful and sweet. I beam images of her coming to my mind. Oh, I am very happy for you, dear brother, but... I trail, not knowing how to tell her all the abuse she has endured. I suck in a deep breath. She was abused by her pack. My sister lets out a feral growl, and I hear a bang on the other end. What? Are they crazy? That is against the law. You know what, brother, I am coming. I have a few words to say to them or punches to give them, she shouts. My sister is angry and no one can tame her. I am already cutting them off business-wise, and we are not rendering any help to them anymore. I declare without my help, I will watch as rogues wipe them out. All that is good, but they need bigger punishment, she says. I calm her down, and we discuss the Lichen Kingdom since I left her, and my third in charge. Everything is going well there so far, but I am needed to go to make some decisions, and attend the Alpha Ball that will be held in a few weeks as an honored guest. Some alphas also want to change some amendments in their packs, but need mine and the council's approval. After attending my Zoom meeting with the council, I leave my bedroom to go and see my mate. I closely open the door to her hospital room only to find Amos. I almost growl, but I notice my mate is sleeping and I don't want to wake her. What is the fucker doing watching her like a creep? Don't touch her. Didn't I warn you not to come into this room again? Eunice was punished for coming in here. She is staying in the dungeons for a few hours and will be whipped for starting fights. He says all while looking at Anaya. She stirs a little and flutters her long lashes, but doesn't work. Get out. She is mine. I refuse to let her go. The only reason you are still standing there is because of your alpha position here. But don't be deceived, I can take it from you and kill you. Is this how the mighty Lichen King gets what he wants? By using his power to threaten his subordinates? He growls. I take a step forward and he takes one back. His gaze is on me. The little pup is strong, but I can still tear him to shreds without breaking a sweat. You are making claims on my mate, your future queen. She was given to me first, he says, losing his cool. And you rejected her and was given to me. I remind him of the brutal truth. Regret flickers in his eyes and I see his wolf resurface, but my lichen does too, making him involuntarily submit to me. Get out of here, I command. Alpha Amos tries to fight my order, but he eventually leaves the room. I am left with my mate. I take the chair near the bed and extend my hand to caress her flawless face with my fingers. Tingles jolt beneath my fingers and her eyes slowly open, but they are shining blue and I am taken back. She tries to keep her eyes open, but the medication they gave her is too strong. I stay with her a while longer, and her eyes lull again. I smile. I can watch her the whole day, goddess. I can't believe she is mine and all mine. I'll love her, protect her with my life. This is the promise I make. Her eyes shut completely, and she stirs a little. Is she having a bad dream? I try to wake her up, but she won't. I stare at her in confusion, and I close my eyes trying to reach her through our bond, but all I see is a white halo shocked. My lichen closes our link. I caress her cheeks and kiss her soft lips. She inhales and wakes up, getting into a sitting position. I am sitting at the edge of a cliff, my legs dangling. I sigh as I look at the ground. If I decide to throw myself down, no one will miss me. I can end it all in a heartbeat. What about Saga and Leandra? I scoffed. You've only known him for 3 days and you are already attached. Don't hold your breath for him. I answer my wolf. He loves us. No one loves us. They always end up hating us. Do you even realize that our second chance mate is the Lichen King, the most powerful man in the werewolf world? I am just an omega, abused and hated by everyone. What if his pack is even worse than this one? I say, angry tears running down my face. Gosh, I hate to cry. They will accept us because he did, she says calmly. We can't be sure. I refuse to be hurt again. I will keep my guard up, or maybe just leave him and become rogue. I can't trust him too. While I am in a conversation with my wolf, a beautiful woman appears in front of me. She is shining in holy light, and I can barely look at her. Look up, child, she says in a sweet voice. When she speaks, it is like there is an echo that follows her voice. I oblige to her request. She smiles at me and says, I am the moon goddess, child. I bow in respect. She is a werewolf goddess. She can visit people, so I hear. I am stunned, unable to say anything to her. Why did she choose to visit me? Child, I visited you because I can hear your thoughts and desires of your heart. I have seen you suffer and haven't done anything because I wanted to strengthen you for what is to come. What do you mean? I frown. It is not for me to tell you. Stay strong, my child. You are blessed, and I hope you make the right choice, she says and disappears into a thin light. I extend my arm to touch her just as she completely disappears. I feel a surge of energy rushes through me, and I look at my fingers to see them blue. I squint my eyes in confusion, but I have no time to ponder when I feel familiar tingles on my face. I open my eyes to be met with my mate's blue ones, but what he sees in mine takes him back a little. I furrow my eyebrows, but he squints a few times and promptly wraps me in a hug. He inhales my scent, and for a while, I don't respond. I don't want to accept him just yet. I'll give our bond time to grow. He pulls away and smiles, making my heart melt. How are you feeling? He asks. I give him a tiny smile. Great, I say indeed. I feel so good. He nods and sits back on the chair. King Leandra. Love, please call me Leandra. The way he said love made me. Stop. I need to talk to him about the bond. Leandra, about our mate bond. I know your lichen will want to mate. And I try, my face getting embarrassingly red. Why is this such a difficult topic? The Lichen King chuckles and takes my hand in his. Love, it is all right. I am a patient man, and I'll wait until you are ready, even though I must admit that I want you. I swallow at that, and a smile formed on my lips. He wants me. He wants to mate with me. All these weeks I thought I wasn't desirable. That is why Amos rejected me, but no. Leon wants me and I flush. You are even more beautiful when you blush. I couldn't be more flushed. I am sure I am as red as a tomato. So, mate, I know nothing about you. I try to sound enthusiastic. He leans back on his chair and covers his gorgeous fingers over his face. So we're playing 20 questions, eh? He starts. I nod and straighten my back. Oak, shot. What is your favorite color? Black. And yours? Mine too. How many siblings do you have? I have one sister. She is my little Spitfire, and you. Am an only child, but I always wished to have a sibling. I shrug. I used to ask my parents for one when I was younger. But my mom said labor is too painful, and she wants to live her life as a model, not some babysitter. I hope Leon doesn't ask about my parents. And your parents? He asks, looking into my eyes. I bite my lips and play with my fingers, not knowing what to say. Love, he urges, and I sigh. They hate me. My mother is not too maternal. I try to chuckle. He squints his eyes in confusion. I really shouldn't have said anything about that. He frowns, but I am surprised he doesn't say a word. After a long silence, he fixes his gaze on me. Let me guess. You like roses, he says quizzically, like it is cliché. I laugh and shake my head negatively. No. I love water lilies, actually. He stands up with a low excited growl and removes a bouquet of white water lilies, giving it to me with a kiss on my cheek. I thought so. How did you know? I smile softly, smelling the flowers. He pretends to think. Magic? I look at the white water lilies in my hands. Thank you, Leon. I like it when you call my name, he beams. We continue to converse. He lives at the castle in Lichen City with his sister and parents. His lichen is black with white paws and sharp teeth. He loves French cuisine and is a really good cook. He receives a phone call. I huffed, but he had to go. Leon was gone the whole day, but Dan came to check up on me. Later in the day, I get discharged from the hospital. I pack the few things that were brought to me in a small bag. Hello, Anaya. The doctor comes in. Are you ready to leave? I sigh and nod. I am not ready to leave and face those monsters, but I will eventually. The Lichen King said to go to his room, and he apologizes for not being here. She says, I only nod again and thank her. I leave the hospital and go to the pack house. The people I meet give me disdainful glares, but no one comments. One of Eunice's bimbos blocks my way to glare, but they don't touch me. I go to the third floor to the guest's bedroom, just realizing that I don't know where my mate's guest bedroom is. I begin to wonder but sigh, going back to the first floor in my storeroom. But I am not too lucky as I find Leah. Her expression darkens when she sees me, and she clutches her fist. She wants to punch me. She takes out her frustrations on me. What are you doing here? She asks as she approaches me. I feel like prey in front of a predator. She comes to me quickly and hits my cheek, making up a silly excuse. Bitch, I mutter, and she raises her hand to strike me again. This time, I prepare myself to block her, but someone does it. Don't fucking dare, or you are dead. I got out of the car, looking at the pathetic pack house. It is not as big as any of ours. As I go into the pack house, I realize the males and females are gawking at me. Of course they will. I am a lichen princess, and normally lichens are very superior to wolves. We are stronger, more sophisticated, and graceful, even more beautiful than other supernatural. I look at the picture of my brother's mate and ask a snotty wolf where I can find her, but she commented something nasty, and I slapped her, leaving her screaming at me, but I don't care about her. How dare she call Anaya a slut? Do these people know she is a future queen of the realm? Once she is crowned, she can order them to be wiped out without consequences. I find another girl, an older woman this time, and she directs me to her, But what I found made my blood boil. A woman was about to slap her. I hold her hand and tighten it, making her face contort in pain. I glare at the woman, tears swell in her eyes. Don't fucking dare, or you are dead. I push her against the wall. She lunges at me, but I kick her again and again, making sure she stays down. She looks livid, her eyes wide in shock. Whoever she is must be of high status. Her wolf growls at me, but I ignore her, turning to my sister-in-law. Hi, Enea. I greet her with a smile. Enea is indeed a rare beauty with long curls, blue eyes, and flawless brown skin. She squints her eyes, but I extend my hand to greet her. I am Aria, Leandra's sister. I introduce myself. I am Anna, she says and closes her eyes momentarily. I know. I chuckle softly. The wolf that was on the floor lunges at me again, but I turn quickly, holding her neck and cutting her supply of oxygen. How dare you come at me, wolf? I grit my teeth. Her face is losing color and I see her struggle. But it is futile. I release her and drop her back to the ground. Don't dare come at me or Anna again. I clear. She nods her head violently and cries. I approach her stealthily while she tries to get away from me. My aura is scaring her and her body is shaking. I grab Anna's hand, but she doesn't follow. I smile. Let's go out. She opens her mouth to speak, but no sounds come out. Anna, I mean no harm. She nods but indicates her bag. Oh, she must have come back from the hospital. I follow my brother's scent to his bedroom. I open the door and Anna walks in. Looking around, I see her hide a smile when she inhales his scent. She puts her bag on the floor and follows me outside. I am starving. On my way here, I saw a diner, I say, as I start the car. Enea doesn't talk much, so I do all the talking in this case. So, are you in high school? I ask. No. I dropped out in my sophomore, she says, still looking out the window. She looks like she is enjoying the drive, so I use the long route to the diner. I keep asking her questions about her life, but her response is vague and hesitant. I close my eyes as I look at the green scenery as well, both of us in comfortable silence. I am glad you are mated to my brother, I say. At last, she has a kind and calm aura, which is very rare for wolves as our supernatural inner beings are strong and always fight for control. Do you have a mate? I stiffen at that, and she immediately notices. Her soft hand touches my shoulder. I am sorry. I didn't mean to intrude, she apologies. I find a parking spot and park my car before turning to her. No, love, you said nothing wrong, I say gently, knowing she is worried that she might have upset you. I don't have one yet. I swallow, not wanting to tell her that the sick bastard rejected me. We get out of the car and head to the restaurant. Some guys whistle and make some comments, but I decide to ignore them. A waiter takes us to a table, and we order one of everything since Anna couldn't pick. I think she doesn't go out much as she keeps browsing the menu and subtly looking around. I notice a lot of things easily catch her attention. Her eyes widen when she sees so much food, and I gesture for her to dig in. She does, but I notice she eats slowly, making sure she savors the taste of the food. You are here. My brother's mind links me. Yes, I am with your mate, I inform him. I thought so. I went looking for her and was told she went out, as I quote, with a blonde bombshell. I chuckle. My brother and I have always been close. He took care of and protected me like a baby, even though we are close in age. I'll bring her back soon. Can you take her shopping? I notice she doesn't have clothes. Done. We finally finish our food and order dessert. We have it eagerly, then leave the restaurant to go shopping. We go to the mall, and while I pick out dresses for her, she is following me quietly. I make her try some on despite her protests, but everything she tries suits her well. She is a little underweight from what I can see, but she is mesmerizingly beautiful. I am tired, she complains when I pass her a skinny jean. She goes to the changing closet and comes back minutes later. The gene is a little lost on her. We both shake our head and she changes right in front of me, making the girl assisting us to blush and look away. I am tired. I want to go, Arya, she says seriously. It wasn't an order, but my liking was taken back by the authority in her tone. I nod but smile mischievously at me. Okay, Luna. I raise my hand up. That smile, though. We are making one last stop. Okay, whatever. She groans with a roll of her eyes. Brother will love this one. Arya is sweet and kind. I think she has a shopping addiction. I am so tired, and I am sure my legs will be sore. We are in Victoria's Secret store. And it is my first time here, so I keep looking around. Here, love. Arya gives me a set of OMG. I get the set of sexy underwear from her with a blush. I've never even worn lingerie before. For you know. She winks and I hide my face from her. Those will look beautiful on you. I just put them in the basket and continue looking around. They have lingeries in all forms, shapes, and sizes. I go to another part of the store. It has less light, and my eyes get fixed on these wild toys. I get one from the shelf and inspect it. It looks painful. I shudder and put it back, but as I turn, I bump into a male. I almost lose my balance and fall, but he catches me. I look up at him. He is an older man with a gray beard and a smug expression on his face, and the way he is looking at me makes me uncomfortable. I swallow and apologize for bumping into him, but his deep and hunky voice stops me. Do you fancy? He is now holding a small whip in his hands and chains. Memories of what happened in the dungeons flashed before me, the whipping. I shake my head and walk away, but he suddenly grabs my wrist, stopping me from going. Let me go. I try to struggle against him, but it is futile. His hold on me is strong and he is smiling. I'll give you $1 million if you agree to play with me. Sweet little girl, he displays, ignoring my struggles. Damn, why are werewolves so strong? I growl at him, but it only seems to please him. Upset, I kick him in the balls several times. He immediately releases me and doubles over in pain, yet he has a stupid smug expression on. I grab the whip he had in his hands a few seconds ago and inspect it, wanting to whip this pedophile. But again, those fucking images taunt me, and I drop it as if it shocked me. Hey, love, why did you drop that? Comes Arya with a smile. Oh no, there is something about it that screams danger. Daddy wants to play. She pouts, bending down to caress the man's beard. The man now has a grimace. He seems terrified by the lichen princess. He tries to stand up, but she pushes him back so that he is still on his knees. My princess, I was. Did I ask you to talk? Arya says, her eyes changing gold a brief second before they go back to their beautiful amber. The old man bows again. I am sure his neck is hurting so much. Arya selects a long whip I didn't see. She smiles and caresses it with her fingers. Daddy wants to play. As soon as the words leave her mouth, she raises the whip so high that it comes landing on the man's back with a harsh sound. The man hisses but doesn't scream. I cover my eyes when she lifts it again and hit him for the second time. The man just groans in pain. Oh, Daddy, isn't this fun? She teases. Arya continues her assault on the man, and now I see beads of sweat forming on his temple. My. The man cries. Shut up, Arya grits, her voice dominating, and like a button on the remote, he keeps quiet. Now, I strike you 5 more and you'll count with me. The man is crying now, and I almost interject, but he deserves it. Who knows how many girls he has lured just to do vile things. Am I clear? He nods vigorously. The princess whips him again, and he counts. 1. She continues, and they are getting harsher. The man is trembling and holding in a sob. I take a moment to look at the girl giving punishment. She is so beautiful and graceful, even as she does it. The dark leather pants and crop top she is wearing give her a batty kind of look, yet her eyes can communicate her emotions. When Arya delivers one last strike and the man breaths a 5, he falls limp to the ground. She crouches down and exhales. "Bye, Daddy. It was fun." She turns to me and extends her hand towards me. "Let's go." I hesitantly take her hand and leave the store. After she pays for the things, we go to her car. "Arya, what was that?" I ask, remembering all the weird toys I saw in that store. "Have you heard of BDSM?" I squint my eyebrows and shake my head. She hums and starts her car. "It is an aspect of sex that involves dominance, control, and submission," she explains, glancing at me. "And they use those things." "Yes. It involves bondage and so much." She continues to explain more about it, actually seeming to enjoy it a lot. "People enjoy that. Being whipped and hurt," I ask, unable to believe what I am hearing. "So that old man is a dominator." "Yes. And he is not old. He wanted you to be his submissive. He can either reward you or punish you." Unfortunately, we reach the pack house. However, my heart flutters at the thought of Leon. I didn't see him the whole day and I kinda miss him. A few guards help us with the bags, giving me a slight glare yet smiling at the princess. I ignore their sharp glare, but Arya doesn't. "Does something smell bad?" she asks the two Omegas. They shake their heads and scurry inside. "Damn, this pack needs to be taught manners," she says under her breath, glaring at some members who don't look her in the eyes. "Brother." My heart skips and I smile as I watch my mate approach. I almost died, and I purr. Arya chuckles, and I blush. "Princess," Dan calls, running to hug Arya. My mate stands in front of me. He puts his warm hands on either side of my neck and attaches his lips to my forehead, and butterflies erupt in my stomach. My breath quivers. "I missed you, my princess," he says, looking into my eyes. He is sincere. I miss him too, but I don't say a word. Pack members are watching us interact, and I feel uncomfortable. In the corner of my eyes, I see my mother glaring at me. Her hate-filled eyes are too much for me to bear. What did I ever do to her? Why does she hate me so much? "Mother." I try to mind-link her. Mother, mother, that sounds strange to my ears. It has been years since I used it. "Dad." I mind-link again, but there is no answer. I can't even feel them. Did they completely disown me too? Tears well my eyes. "Love, are you okay?" A distant voice asks. "Please, excuse me." I run to the storage closet where I stay. I close the door and sit on the cold floor, burying my face in my legs and letting myself cry. I hear the door open, and I wipe my tears quickly. "King, Leandra Pui." My mate runs while crying. I face my sister and Beta. They only shrug. I follow her scent to where she disappeared to. The small passage is dark and dusty. Does anyone even live here? I see a small wooden door and open it. I enter and see her sitting in the corner of the room. Her eyes are red and her body is trembling. I rush to her and hug her. She wraps her hands around me, and she cries silently. "What is this place?" I hear my sister ask. I pull away to check the place out. It looks like an old walk-in closet with a small mattress that doesn't look too soft. There is a chair and a desk that has books on it, a small mirror on the other side, and a few clothes that are hanging. The place doesn't have much light, but it is clean and smells like cranberry. "Baby, is this your room?" I ask. She shifts uncomfortably a little but nods. I wipe her tears from her beautiful eyes. I don't ever want to see her shed a tear of sadness. She smiles softly, moving away from her, and my lichen whimpers at the distance she put. "You are staying with me from now on," I tell her. She hesitates and looks at Arya. Since when are they close? My sister gives her an encouraging smile, and my mate nods at me. "You know what? Let's downstairs, dinner is ready," announces Dan with a grin. My mate once again pauses, but Arya grabs her hand and takes her outside. Arya, I can't eat with you guys, she mumbles. Why? Well, not many people like me here, and I am not allowed to dine with them. You are eating with us, and that is final. We go to the dining room and find everyone sitting. You didn't cook! Spats a female warrior at my mate, and I glare at her, immediately averting her gaze. We reach the dining room where everyone is already sitting. I sit at the head of the high table, pulling my mate on my lap. She tries to oppose, but I don't release her. Finally defeated, she settles. The high-ranking members are taking glances at my mate, and I am proud to see that she holds their gaze. From where I am sitting, I can see the fury radiating from Amos. Everyone prepares a plate of food and starts to eat while I feed Anna some bites. She is shy, but eats. This girl doesn't eat with us. A woman stands up. My mate inhales and folds her arms against her chest, while her eyes were unfocused, obviously tuning the she-wolf speaking out. She is a murderer. She yells, "This bitch again!" Mutters my sister, the woman's eyes riveted on me. Do you know? She killed my husband on her first shift? You should have rejected her. She is not even beautiful. Another wolf adds. My fist clench and I glare at her. My sister hits the table with her fist, making everyone flinch. Wasn't the beating I gave you enough? Do you need a repeat? PR princess, you don't know what she did, she says, still glaring at my mate. She is a disgusting cunt who thinks. Before she can finish her words, Arya throws a knife at her, striking her in the shoulder, and the woman lets out a bloody scream. My mate's body goes rigid, and I hold her close. I don't fucking care. I will kill anyone who disrespects or hurts my queen, Arya declares coldly, and continues eating. Now, get out. I order the woman who is crying. She bows and leaves. Everyone is looking at us in fear, but we ignore them. Do you want more eggs? I ask my mate, who slowly nods, and I give her a forkful of them. After what happened during dinner, no one even looked at me once, or pass any comments. We are now in King Leandra's suite, in the small salon. The siblings and Beta are busy arguing about what movie to watch. No. We are watching Venom, the hitman's bodyguard, protests Dan, grabbing the remote from Arya. I watch them bicker for a while longer and smile. They are so childish, Arya with a cute pout on her lips, and Leon with a frown trying to get the remote from his Beta. Arya snatches it, but they lunge at her at once. She squeals and throws it at me. They all turn to me, all of them extending their hand. I don't know. Don't give it to them, Arya says. Love, give it to me. Leon is looking at me with puppy dog eyes and I can't resist. No. Luna. Me, the Beta says. They all talk at once and I close my eyes, not knowing what to do. Guys, enough. We are watching The Notebook and that is final, I declare. Arya claps her hands in excitement, while the boys complain. While the Omegas bring our snacks, Arya plays the movie. My mate pulls me onto his lap, and I don't even resist. I need his warmth. 2 hours later, we finish the movie. Arya is such a romantic and is crying at the end, while I just hold my mate. Dan slept before the movie was halfway through, and is now snoring on the fluffy carpet. Arya kicks him, and he wakes up. I am not sleeping. We all laugh at him. As the second movie starts to play, my eyes feel heavy and sleep takes over me. I am in the woods playing as I always do. I am happy, but a shiver runs down my spine when I feel Thomas Rivers' hands on me. I begin to thrash and kick, but he is adamant about taking me. No, please, please, I beg, fighting the man with a grin on his face. You are so beautiful, little Aenea. He breathes on my skin, and I kick his balls suddenly. I feel my body vibrate and my bones crack. Hair recedes on my skin, and I face my attacker with fury. He is gaping and shaking in fear. I look at myself and gasp, but it is a low growl. My wolf is beautiful with fur, as white as snow and electric blue eyes. At this point, Thomas pees his pants as he begs, but my wolf is furious, baring her sharp teeth at her. You are the chosen wolf, Thomas stutters, retreating from me. Baby, wake up! Someone's warm hands are shaking me gently. I snap my eyes open and realize it is Leandra. His face shows concern, his huge hands cupping my face. I sigh and look around. Both Arya and Dan look worried as well, tears building in my eyes, and not wanting them to see me cry. I wrap my arms around Leon's torso, hiding my face. He holds me tenderly while whispering in my ears. It was just a dream. A bad one. The one I've had since my first shift. She is thrashing and crying in her sleep. I try to hold her down, but she is still shaking violently. Baby! I shake her. She wakes up and wraps her arms around me. I hold her tenderly all while eyeing Arya and Dan. They are worried too. She pulls away from me, and I wipe her tears. Are you okay? Asks Arya, concerned. She nods positively. Bad dream. I am sorry, she says in a mild voice. I sigh and pull her onto my lap. I slip my hand around her waist, and she relaxes in my embrace. Do you have nightmares? Asks Dan. I see tears dance in her eyes, but she sways her head away. I kiss her shoulder, and she smiles slightly. I grin, happy that I made her smile with my simple gesture. I've been having nightmares since I shifted on my 13th. What happened on your 13th birthday, baby? I ask gently. My Anna takes a deep breath before speaking. I killed someone. An alpha. Silence befalls us, and she looks at each one of us, searching for something. Disdain? Hate? I don't know, but when she didn't find whatever she was searching for, she continues. His name was Thomas Rivers. He was our alpha's brother. I am sure he deserved it, says Arya, shrugging her shoulders. He used to touch me when no one is watching, and on my birthday he tried to rape me. She says with sadness. I hold her closer to me. I am angry, and my wolf was raging within me. Someone tried to take my mate forcibly. She turns slightly to me so that our eyes meet. A small smile crossing her delicate lips as she raises her fingers to caress her cheek. I am fine now. I immediately relax into her touch. How does she do it? Magic. So that is why that bitch was yapping, growls Arya. Well, after that, everyone hated me and shunned me. Even my parents, she says, looking away. A tight knot stirs in my stomach. They abused a girl because she killed a pedophile in self-defense. I hold her closer. I know it is too late to change what happened, but I make a silent promise to always protect her. Nothing will ever harm or hurt her. These bastards, Arya growls. She plops back into her sit. As she continues to tell us all that happened, my anger is rising, and so are my sisters and betas. Wait, did you say you shifted at 13? I ask, shocked. Wolves shift into their form at the age of 16 or 18, while male alphas are the ones who get their wolf at age 14. Yes, I got my wolf at 13, but started bonding with her at the age of 5. She explains. We all look at her shocked. My mate is indeed special. An hour later, we decided to watch another movie when the siren blared. We got to our feet. Rogues are attacking, my mate says, bolting out of the room. I follow after her. Can she fight? As soon as we reach the main room of the pack house, everyone is panicking and moving around. I scan the room for my mate, and I growl when I see her talking to Amos. I rush to them. Anna! I roar, making her flinch, and I immediately regret my actions. I wrap a hand around her, but she flinches a little. Rogues have attacked the border. They came in large numbers, Amos informs us. Get the warriors there now, I order, and Amos's eyes darken, showing that he is mind. Linking. Members of the same pack can talk telepathically. Alpha, I am going to, says my mate. No, You are not, Amos and I shout in unison. Anna only rolls her eyes and moves from me to face Amos. My lichen whimpers at that. Alpha, you know I can fight. I am good. Amos seems to be reluctant, but I refuse. I don't even want her near a fight. You are not fighting, I tell her, but she ignores me. Well, most of our warriors went to help the Sky Moon Pack, so we are short in numbers. You can go, but be careful, Anaya, Amos says, his eyes lingering on her longer than they should. And I growl. Anna takes off her shirt, but I grab her arm, stopping her. My mate is not endangering herself. I'll handle it. I growl at their pathetic alpha. He takes a step back, his wolf submitting to me. I am fighting, and you can't stop me. You are not my alpha, Anaya says softly, but there was venom in her tone. She is determined. I sigh, and my lichen says to trust her. Fine, but you stay by my side the whole time. She nods eagerly and pecks my lips. I grin after registering that she kissed me. An hour later, impressed is not the right word I'd use. My mate is a skilled fighter. Her moves are graceful like a ballet dancer's. She saved a lot of members, and if a rogue tries to sneak up on her, either Arya Dan or I made sure they die. After we burn all the corpses, I pull her close to me and smash my lips on her. She kisses me back and some people around us clap. I hear a few growls coming from Amos, but I don't pay him any mind. You did good, baby. I praise her, and she grins at me.